So what will happen next in the fight against the BBC and the TV licence fee now Nadine has gone? Hi, me again. And yet Liz Truss got the big job, and Nadine Dorries, who was supposed to be on our side of the fight against the BBC and the TV licence fee, has stepped down. Now, I said this ages ago. I said it doesn't matter what ideas Nadine's going to bring in, because we were all hopeful for her, right? We all thought she was going to come out swinging, and she did come out swinging a bit, didn't she? And she talked a good game. But one of the things I said was it doesn't matter what she implements, what ideas she wants, unless she's in the job when the licence fee charter expires in 2027, nothing will change. Because it can be 2026 and she's cancelling the TV licence fee and everything. And if she loses her job, someone else will come in a new government and just delete the whole thing. Just throw it out the window and everything will go back to normal to be a new licence fee charter. You know, and it's happened. It's happened a lot quicker than I thought it would happen, but it has happened. So what's going to happen now then? Because she stepped down. It looks like she's going to get a peerage and go sitting in the House of Lords, and there's going to be a by-election in her seat. So what's going to happen with it all? Well, let's have a look. According to reports, the arch BBC sceptic was asked to remain in her post, but will now likely be given a peerage, triggering a tricky by-election in a constituency. Dorries is feared by a public broadcaster. She pushed through the start of Channel 4's privatisation and signalled that she wants the BBC licence fee to be abolished after 2027, and has made multiple inflammatory remarks throughout her year-long tenure, including her accusation that a Channel 4 reality show she now took part in a decade ago used actors instead of ordinary people. I think all reality shows do that. They're all fake now, aren't they? They're all fake, and she called it out. But yeah, it's an interesting one, this, because is the Channel 4 privatisation still going to complete? What's going to happen with the BBC and the licence fee? Because the next person in that job could be pro-BBC. And they'll just, because there's still a licence fee freeze on for the next couple of years, but they could throw that out the window on day one of their job as Culture and Media Secretary, couldn't they? Whoever goes and sits in that chair, and then the licence fee will raise with the cost of inflation, which at the minute is quite high, isn't it? And then everything will be back to normal, and by the time we get to 2027, the licence fee, instead of being 159 quid a year, could be 259 quid a year, 359 quid a year. We don't know. Are we going to get someone else anti-BBC sitting in that chair? Probably not. Probably not. I think Nadine was probably one of the main anti-BBC people in the business. And she ain't there no more. UK producer trade body PACT has already started ramping up lobbying and sent an open letter signed by 750 production companies to both Truss and Sunak last week, urging them to reconsider the devastating plans. More lobbying is likely. While our first source said Channel 4 will be hoping the national economic crisis will be keeping the government busy and distracted, Truss is expected to set out an economic plan later this week. Meanwhile, a Truss premiership may mean yet another review into decriminalising non-payment of the BBC licence fee, an issue that rears its head every time a UK government wants to put the BBC back in its cage. So yeah, she did say before she got the big job, Liz, that she would look into decriminalising non-payment of the licence fee. I'd consider that a win. I'd consider that a win. That's the absolute best we can hope for. I don't think it's realistic that a licence fee will be ended before 2027, because they're kicking the can down the road. There's a lot going on, and the BBC will say, look, we don't have time to implement commercialisation or subscription services before 2027. Now, we ain't got enough time to do it. And they'll get another 10-year extension or something on the licence fee charter. So the best we can hope for is let them have their 10-year extension on the licence fee charter and have it decriminalised. Because if that happens, how many people at the minute would stop paying the licence fee? 159 quid a year was a lot of money 2 years ago. But now with everything that's going on, when you've got to choose between whether putting food in the fridge or keeping warm this winter, that 159 quid is going to make a lot of difference to a lot more people than it normally would. And people will stop paying. People will stop paying in their masses. I'm sure of it. So it's an interesting time in the licence fee fight. I've said it a few times on this channel over the last year because it is interesting. When I started this channel, it was pretty boring. Nothing was going to change. There was just petitions going around. But we are building up to change that. Like I say, the licence fee charter is due to expire in 2027. And I believe that the can's going to get kicked down the road so far that we'll get to, what, 2024, 25 or something. And the BBC say, look, we don't have time to do anything now. There's only a couple of years. There's no way we can get it done in a couple of years. So they'll get an extension on the TV licence fee. So the absolute best we can hope for here is decriminalisation, because so many people just stop paying it overnight. Stop paying it overnight. Because in Japan, for instance, they have a television licence fee, but it is in no way enforced. You can't get into trouble for not paying it. So I think it's what, 92% of Japanese people don't pay it. Because if nothing can happen by not paying it, why would you pay it? Why would you pay it? So I think that's the best we can hope for at the minute. And I'd like to see that. I'd like to see it, because at the minute it is an opt-out system and you can opt out of it. But so many people still believe that you must pay it if you own a television. It's crazy the amount of emails I still get. The message just isn't getting out there because the BBC don't want the message out there. They employ multiple PR agencies to keep the message as it is, to scare people into paying. So yeah, decriminalisation will be the biggest blow to the BBC I could imagine at the minute. It'll be a huge blow. Be a huge blow, wouldn't it? Let me know what you think about it all down in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because that way, hopefully, I'll see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da.